Hello, this is Dr. Tay, and today's episode is on cooking oils. Couple of videos back, I did make a video on linoleic acid and how we should cook with oils. And KMG08 made a comment. Nobody ever mentions mustard oil, so I'm here to address that. And Nelly 77210 wants to know the omega-6 content in sesame oil and mustard oil. So today's that video. So if you mention in the comments below and want something made, depending on how much work I got to do, I'll definitely make it. So here goes. The science of cooking with oils. All right. All right. So if you look at, let's see, over here, where the mouse is, it says saturated fatty acids. You have these carbon chain over here, and all of these is hydrogen. They're chained up to it. And because there's not one space needed, it's fully saturated, meaning it is full with hydrogen bonds. Now, an unsaturated fatty acids is when you have a double bond, aka a covalent bond. And when the covalent bond is there, it's considered unsaturated because it's not fully saturated. Another hydrogen atom can go in there. And basically, saturated fatty acids are more stable, meaning it won't cause a chemical reaction with other um, molecules or things like that because everything is stable, is whole. However, an unsaturated fatty acids um, is not stable, and therefore it can cause uh, can take a hydrogen atom from another place and attach it to this area. So it can take so one of the things that an unsaturated fatty acid can do, it can oxidize another molecule or an apple or whatever the situation may be. So what this means is saturated, it means it's healthy. Unsaturated, it's more reactive. But are all unsaturated fatty acids, because it is reactive, bad for you? The answer is no. All right. Now, having said all of that, monounsaturated means that it has a double bond only in one of the molecule chains. Polyunsaturated means many, meaning two or three. So saturated generally means healthy. Unsaturated means unhealthy, rarely becomes oxidative, is more reactive, more instability, more radical reactions, but it's not always means it's more unhealthy. In fact, polyunsaturated fats are omega 3s and omega 6s. Omega 6 is bad, omega 3s are good. But you need a good balance between omega 3, 6, and 9s across the board. It's just that the American diet, because we eat so much of omega 6s, because corn is subsidized in this country, meaning the government will pay the farmer whether they sell the corn or not, just for growing it. And these corn are considered feed for the livestock like chickens, cows, and when they eat corn or soybeans or all these other seeds instead of grass, the animals, they become filled with omega 6s compared to omega 3s if they were to eat grass. And that is the big situation. And a lot of people don't really understand what saturated and unsaturated, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated. And hopefully this video will give you a better idea what these things mean. There is a different form of oil processing and how it comes to the supermarket. One, there's mechanical, cold pressed, and chemical, which is hexane. Uh, Mechanical means that they're crushing it slowly. Like you ever hear the term cold pressed? And the reason why cold pressed is generally good is because the chemical part is really bad. Chemical means that they crush it, and cold press, they don't heat up the oil so that it leaks out. They just use room temperature to slowly crush the oils and get the oils out of it. And the chemical, they use this byproduct, which is considered to be a chemical product called hexane. It is used for filtration, strained through filters to remove impurities. It refines and changes the appearance, the taste, smell, and more. Refining can include degumming, neutralization, bleaching, and deodorization. And conditioning remaining residues are conditioned such as dried and reprocessed to yield it by the byproducts. And hexane is used to extract oils. It is used for cleaning to degrease situations. And so it's kind of like separates the oil from the rest of the gunk. And hexane is found in gasoline, rubber cement, and quick drying glues. Would you want to put that stuff in your body? Special use solvent is used in laboratory as a chemical reaction medium. Hexane is colorless, volatile organic solvent classified as a straight chain neutral aliphatic hydrocarbon. It is relatively insoluble in water and can be found as a minor component of gasoline. The big question is hexane harmful to humans? Chronic long-term exposure to hexane in air is associated with polyneuropathy in humans with numbness in extremities, muscular weakness, blurred vision, headache, and fatigue is observed. Neurotoxic effects has been exhibited in rats as well. So what this means is it's kind of bad for you. So when you're getting at the supermarket, the canola oil, it says vegetable oil, right? That's usually, they use hexane to create those oils. And I'm sure some of that stuff is in there to a certain degree. And let's just leave it like that. Mustard seed oil is very popular in South Asia, long history of consumption. Majority of the uses were done in lab rats and not people. Thus, a lot of the studies are not reliable. It's got a very high specific heat, able to cook in high heat. It is known for erucic acid, forms 20 to 40% of the mustard oil that can cause accumulation of triglycerides around the heart, developmental of myocardial lipidosis, heart lesions, increase in the risk of lung cancer, and anemia. It is banned in Europe and America and is for external use only. But people from South Asia, they still use it. And my recommendation is that you use it in, just don't use it too much. Use it in very small moderation. Okay. Sesame oil. I knew sesame oil as a kid in Korean diet. There's things called bibimbap. You mix with the rice with the different vegetables. You put a one big paste of hot chili paste along with usually some sort of like sunny side up egg situation. And there's 1 tablespoon of sesame oil to make the whole bibimbap experience good. So oftentimes I've never seen anybody, at least in Korean culture, cook with sesame oil. They use sesame oil to roast these seaweeds. So they take like a brush and they brush the seaweed sheets of paper and they slightly roast it. And technically, is it cooking? Yeah, but was it cooked in the traditional sense the way we cook with oils? The answer is no. And sesame oil, there's a lot of health benefits. It's got omega-3, 6, and 9s. It's anti-inflammatory. It relieves stress and depression, sugar regulation, hair health, digestive health, sinus health, and throat health. And sesame oil is also used when you do neti pot. Oh, I forgot to post the mustard seed oil's health benefits. It's, good with, some sort of anti-inflammatory situations and things like that. So I forgot to post that. My next thing is we have oil here. Saturated means that the hydrogen molecule is attached to every carbon and therefore it's not unsaturated. And these are very stable oils. And if you look at it, coconut oil right here has the highest, right? And then you have mono unsaturated fatty acids, right? And if you add these numbers up, it comes out to a 100, right? Polyunsaturated fats is things like flaxseed seems to be the highest over here, right? The saturated fat content for mustard seed oil is very low. It's right above canola, so it's number 2 on the list. And this is while it's still uncooked, mind you, because once it gets cooked, a lot of things go bad. And monounsaturated fats is the one covalent bond in the fatty chain acid, and the unsaturated fatty acids. This is where omega 3s and omega 6s are in there a lot. So for mustard seed is a little bit on the high end, right? And sesame oil is a little bit on the high end. And if you look at the smoke point, I believe mustard seed is the highest. So, and at the same time with almost coconut oil too, right? So do I recommend cooking with any of these things? Generally, the answer is no. I would relatively stay away from fried foods. In fact, my wife and I decided to stop eating KFC, Korean fried chicken, for the time being because it's not good for you. Because whenever I eat like a whole bunch of wings, I get like acne that flares up. So I decided not to eat it. And my wife, she's very supportive of that. So right now, I believe my wife and daughter is making wings so that we could bake them at home so we don't have to like fry them. And cooking, you have so much control. It is a hassle, but it is a form of a culture. You have to learn how to enjoy it. And so hopefully this will give you a better idea. This chart will give you a better idea of how you compare the different oils and things like that. And for future videos, please hit the like button, make a comment, share this video with anybody who's interested in knowing these things. And I look forward to seeing you in your future. Oh, by the way, next week, this video, well, you guys will see this next week while I'm in Mexico. So I'll bring back some footage of the markets and some of the foods I'm trying over there. So stay tuned for more episodes. Take care. Bye-bye.